jellyfish regenerates its cells. It's the key. It says lies in a process called differentiation, which one type of cell, I guess, transforms into another. I didn't read the whole thing, but it was really interesting because then, it's not that it's just regenerating and making a new cell of itself. It is becoming something else. But anyway, I've been telling everybody for 20 years that the goal of the New World Order elite is simply to live forever. And once they get that, they won't need us. And I think that that's what they're near, and that's why they're pushing for all this stuff. And it kind of leaks out of their mouths when they say, well, we need to rid the world of 90% of the useless eaters, That's a pretty strong hint. And when I saw this jellyfish article today, I thought, yeah, that's probably what they're going after is taking that jellyfish. You're probably going to turn it into a partial human and live forever. You never know. I think that we underestimate where technology really is. I bet you've come across some pretty wild technology that probably exists.
Well, as far as this anti-aging stuff goes, yeah, I think they've had it probably a while ago, and that could be a symptom of what's going on now. They're just having the final fun death ceremony or something for their new states. But what happens with a cancer tumor that has the chromosomes have these things called telomeres. In humans, and other animals, they disintegrate when the cell replicates, but in others, they don't, like in a cancer tumor, for example. And then if they don't, the aging doesn't occur, interestingly. And so it'd be that easy just to develop a technology that made it so your telomeres, these things that wind the chromosomes up, don't deteriorate. Pretty straightforward. They actually, on the Discovery Channel, they say, oh, it's 100 years, or they'll say it's 20 years away, the technology, or 50 years away. But, that just means they probably already have it developed. And
yeah, it probably does. Have you seen old pictures and then recent pictures of Henry Kissinger? Because, dude, he's getting younger.
Yeah, I was going to say Dick Cheney, too. That freak is, he should have been dead 16 times over. Heart attacks and he's, every time you see him, he's walking, 5 miles an hour, strutting, like he's 20 years old. And how about, we'll pick this up in a sec.
Okay. Be right back, folks. Folks, this show, for whatever reason, is picked up by radio stations all the time, and it's really nearly impossible to keep up with it. I know I have my oldest daughter, Randy. She's been on a guest on this show over the past couple of years, probably half a dozen times, and she is the one that markets this show around the country, and sometimes she forgets to tell me that we got a new station, and she's out of town this weekend, and I just found out from Todd at Global Star that the show is being carried in Houston, Texas, and it's a huge station. So I'm actually right now at radiolocator.com trying to figure out which one. But it's kind of neat to get your show picked up by some very large networks as you try to do a show worth hearing. So what other Jeff? What other people have you noticed that seem to not be aging or maybe even getting younger?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, Dick Cheney's an interesting one, but more interesting. I remember back when I was teaching in universities, because you can actually talk about anti-aging technology and so forth in the university and not get fired or something.
Yeah.
That's, the universities have these funny little things. This thing's okay, evolution is great, but if you don't talk about evolution, that even can almost look bad, it's just crazy. Wow. But anti-aging is a good one in the universities. So I remember telling students, Ray Kurzweil, who I'm sure a lot of listeners know exactly who I'm talking about. He's the big anti-aging guy, writing books about the singularity point. I've read some of his stuff.
Spiritual Machines is one of them.
Yeah, I read that one too. His new one is the singularity one. And that guy, I will look up his age a second here. But if I recall, he looks about 35 years off of his age. He looks like he's about 40, but I think he's in his 70s. Let me check right now. But that's a pretty interesting one. But I just think it probably is the case that a lot of these people are being given this technology because it's I'm sure the high up, the Illuminati, the top level, is going to give them this stuff to keep them feeling like they're part of this elite club. I mean, I think they can still just get sacrificed just as quick as anybody else will in the big cull that the top Illuminati masters are planning for their spiritual ritual. I mean, so just like when you're in a university, they have little games they play. We'll have little contests and little ceremonies to award you little things, and and people get so. I remember when I got my first university award, I was just absolutely ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. And then later, when I got out of the universities, I thought, that was just all a trick, just to get me programmed into the system. I mean, the whole award was just stupid, really, because I published an article, a specific article. So that's what I think. What's your take on that, John? You might have a different take on that.
No, I think they probably have the technology to stop aging and probably regress it. I think they would keep it with their inner circle for whoever was the best, at whatever they were told to do. Dick Cheney obviously works very hard for the Illuminati. So, and I'm talking about your Illuminati that you talked about on the other side of the veil, perhaps the non-human stuff. I think that guy is honors class for the Illuminati, and I think this is exactly how it's played out. And those that like Lady Gaga and Jay-Z and those people, they know about this technology. They probably met some of these people that have been regressing in age, and they want it, and so they're working real hard to be able to get their shot in the arm, the vaccine. That's exactly. I agree with you. I think
robotics too is another similar one.
Yeah, what about that guy? What about that guy that's I think it's from England, that has been integrating his body with robotics? Have you heard about that and anything?
I've heard a couple of different ones like that. Not specifically the one in England. Tell me about that one.
Well, it's just that it started off where he just put a chip in the back of his neck or the back of his skull, and then the last I heard, I listened to this on it was Art Bell's show, Coast to Coast, and he just would continue to go back every 6 months or a year and have surgeons.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, it's real spooky, and that's where they want to take it, folks. They want to turn you into a very responsive robotic human.
Well, let me say about Ray Kurzweil here. Looks like he's 63, and I'm looking at pictures of him, and somebody can. It's Kurzweil for those who don't know, and you can judge for yourself. But I think the guy looks like he's about 43. In some pictures. It's weird. Some of the recent pictures, it changes. Like one picture, he looks like he's about 35, and the next one, he looks like he's about 48. And, just kind of, it's really a strange scenario. Maybe I'm just imagining things, and I admit that I could be, just seeing, like when you see pictures in the clouds, you're seeing something that's not there. Maybe I'm doing that, but that's just my take, and I'll leave it up to everybody to judge for themselves.
Wow. I just clicked on that link, and it shows that he's 62, and it has a picture. I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, he looks mid-40s. That is.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple here. I'll forward you another one, John. But another thing that you won't believe this picture, John, once you see this one. But another thing that makes them not need us is robotics, robot war, and things like that. I mean, because and I've got a lot on my book, Corporatism, about this. Near the end of the book, and if we're their slaves, the robots could replace us as slaves.
will not only replace us, then eliminate us. You know, that robotic dog. We're going to take a break. We'll